Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Lynn Lowdown, where we're gonna talk about ballot question 1, the right to repair. And today we have a special guest. We have Mr. Tommy Hickey with us. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. Just Tommy, before we get started, tell the audience about yourself. Introduce yourself to the audience.
So my name is Tommy Hickey. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, where I still live. I am the director of the Right to Repair Coalition. We are a coalition of 1,500 independent repair shops and parts stores here in Massachusetts. We represent 30,000 aftermarket jobs here in Massachusetts, and we are behind the Yes on One ballot initiative coming up for the November elections.
Yeah, for those that may not know what ballot question 1 is, can you just give a little background on that?
Sure. So in 2012, some people may remember we passed a right to repair law first in Massachusetts at 86%. First of all, it's the highest passing ballot initiative in Massachusetts history. We always say you can't get 9 out of 10 people to agree on anything, but when it came down to their car repair choice, the people spoke. So what it did in 2012 was it mandated that car manufacturers give all the information they give to their dealerships to the independent repair shop. So what it did was it create a level playing field so people could get their cars fixed where they want. What was happening is that car manufacturers were giving independent repair shops little or worse information they were giving their dealerships, and people were having to do 2 visits or being forced into the dealerships. Independents were going under and people were having to pay more for it.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right, so, we're going to get right into the questions. Let's get to it. In your own words, what does a yes or no vote mean for question 1?
So as I said, in 2012, we passed 86 right to repair law, and what it does was give a level playing field. Unfortunately, technology has caught up to our law, and there was this carve out in the 2012 law for this wireless communication system called telematics. I always say, if you look at headphones now, all headphones have now become wireless. There's no aux cords in cars to plug into music. You have to plug in through Bluetooth. There's the internet instead of libraries. There's email versus mail. There's an endless amounts of wireless society that we're moving into. So there's this carve out in the law, the 2013 right to repair for telematics. And so in this year, 2020, 90% of new cars have this telematic capabilities. And what it does is it's a more efficient way to diagnose a car. And again, 2012 was all about making sure that dealerships and independents had the same information. Well, car manufacturers now have this new system that bypasses the 2013 right to repair law. It's a loophole in the law. We need to go back and fix it. So what this question does, what this ballot initiative does, would mandate that car manufacturers give car owners, the people who bought the car, all the diagnostic repair information through the telematics system, and allow them, if they so choose, to give it to an independent repair or a dealer of their choice.
Okay. And then, so with this, so on the yes side, we have the Auto Repair Association, and then on the no side, we got the Auto Manufacturer Association. So, what would you say to endorse about the groups backing your side?
So like I said, we're the local in your community, been doing this for 1,000 years. Joe's repair shop, Mike's repair shop, in your neighborhood guys. There's over 1,500 independent repair shops, as I said. Even more important, there's 30,000 aftermarket jobs. We have a whole distribution system. You have parts stores, you have labor. And what we do as an aftermarket is keep the market prices in check. So what this ballot initiative would do is protect those jobs. Without this ballot initiative, we do see the dealerships creating a monopoly, the car manufacturers creating a monopoly on the repair market, and people will be forced into dealerships. So we're the same group that did this in 2012, and the initiative stays the same. We want a level playing field for dealerships and independent repair shops, and most importantly, we want the owner to be able to get their car fixed where they want.
And some concerns that we've seen from people is about hacking or the security of personal information. People have raised concerns about that. Are cars already susceptible to hacking by strangers with the current laws and regulations in place?
So the car manufacturers are the only ones with access to this wireless information. This ballot initiative has nothing to do with personal information. It also has nothing to do with GPS location. The car manufacturers have somehow pushed an agenda of GPS and personal information and stalkers, etc. But if you look at the actual language of this ballot initiative, you'll see that this is just about mechanical information. I urge people to look at the language of the bill. Go to the Attorney General, Secretary of State's website. You'll see the Attorney General in her summary says this is about mechanical information necessary to diagnose, maintain, and repair the car. Last I checked, that is not GPS location. That is not personal information. That is repair information, just like we did in 2012. All we're saying is that 2012 was an OBD port. People used to plug in when you go to an independent repair shop. You plug into an OBD port, you get the diagnosis of the car, you make the repair. That is now becoming wireless. So we need to get the same information the dealerships get so people can continue to get their car fixed where they want, just like the spirit of the 2012 right to repair law was.
Why do you think that why do you think people have that concern about why do you think people had that concern? You know what I'm saying? Like for the personal information when you guys that's not even something you guys really.
Well, that's what the car manufacturers' ads are about. If you look at the car manufacturers' ads, it has to do with domestic violence. It has to do with stalkers. It has to do with getting hacked on personal information. And they have never once attacked the merits of our bill. That's not our bill. Our bill is strictly prohibits anything besides mechanical information, and I quote, necessary to diagnose, maintain, and repair the car. I think the car manufacturers are using scare tactics to scare people into thinking this is more than what it is. And unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us and the car owners, this is about getting your car fixed where you want.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you talk about 2012, the things you guys did in 2012. Like, you talk a little bit about 2013 and the state of Massachusetts passed a right to repair law. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So what happened is we passed that law, like I said, 86% level playing field between dealerships and independent repair shops. In the language of that law, there's a carve out for telematics. In 2013, 2012, just like a lot of technologies, we didn't know what telematics was. The car manufacturers knew they were moving to a wireless system of communications. They knew they were going to carve us out of it. So they signed the 2013 right to repair law. And 7 years later, fast forward, we have a brand new technology that's not covered under the law. They get the loophole. They get to find a way around the right to repair law. And they, again, have what they want at their fingertips, which is a monopoly of the repair market, forcing people into their dealerships, whatever maximizes their profits. And this is worth billions of dollars to them. So they're confusing the issue with personal information and GPS location. And we fix cars for a living. They sell cars for a living. We're here in Massachusetts. We're 30,000 aftermarket jobs. And I believe they have 0 manufacturing jobs here. This is all from Detroit, Michigan. So like I said, we're a repair coalition. We want to fix your car, and all we need to do is update the 2013 right to repair law to cover for new technologies.
And to my understanding, Massachusetts is the only state that has adopted this any type of right to repair law.
Yeah, so we tried at the federal level before the 2012 law passed here in Massachusetts, and the car manufacturers, as you can imagine, they're very close with the Trump administration now, but the federal government, they're one of the biggest players in the country in terms of economics, and so they have a great relationship there. So we passed it here in Massachusetts. We were the first state to pass it. We had an MOU signed for 49 other states, so 49 other states also adopted the right to repair law. And we're back at it again to close this loophole, and we hope we can sign an MOU for 49 other states as well.
And a lot of people, they need the auto repairs. They need you guys' service. So, how important is it just to make sure that people actually go and read and understand what exactly this ballot question is? Because most times people don't read and fully take grasp of the ballot questions and the important details in the questions.
And I won't lie to you, the car manufacturers have a lot of money. If you look at the OCPF reports, they already have $25 million into advertisement. So if you're seeing no ads more than you're seeing yes ads, people get scared. But at the end of the day, like I said, I just urge people to look at the language of the bill, see what a yes vote would do. A yes vote would empower the consumer by giving them all the diagnostic repair information so they can get their cars fixed where they want. A no vote leaves you out of that system. It allows the car manufacturers to control that information, send that information to who they want, when they want, and for how much they want. And then as far as I'm concerned, the 2012 right to repair law doesn't even exist because we now have a new unregulated system. We're moving to a wireless society, and we're back to where we started, unfortunately. So vote yes on one.
And then with the Novo, so people would pay more, in order to get their car repairs.
Yeah, I mean, I think people generally understand, but all the data shows that dealerships are more expensive than your independent repair shops. And right now, if nothing were to happen in this law did not pass, the manufacturers have franchise agreements with their dealerships. That's where they sell their parts and sell their cars. So they would give that information to dealerships, and dealerships would be the only people that fix your car. They'd be the only ones with this wireless communication. So
that's what
simple supply and demand, So
yeah, that's what I was trying. That's what I was trying to get at. I was trying like if they get it and now you're gonna pay a lot more for your car.
They're the only ones who can fix it. They can charge whatever they want.
Yeah, and it'll be effective, because some cars, foreign cars or different varieties of cars, certain parts they won't be able to get.
Yeah, I can tell you the European car manufacturers are a lot more difficult, as you can imagine, than the American cars. But this is for all cars. This is for all makes and models. And Tesla was not covered under the 2012 law because they have no dealerships. So we do believe this is all car manufacturers.
Yeah. All right. This is I'm learning as I just learned a whole lot of stuff right now myself. And thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. All right. Now, if anyone has any questions for you, or if they want to reach out to you and just to learn more about Ballot Question 1, please let them know where they could contact you or email you or anything.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we are on TV. I hope people see our ads. We are on the radio, but you can definitely learn more at massrighttorepair.org. That's all spelled out, massrighttorepair.org. We are on Facebook, MA Right to Repair. We're on Twitter, MA Right to Repair. We're on YouTube, MA Right to Repair. And I urge people, like I said, to do their homework, look at the language, and make an informed decision to empower yourself as a car owner to get the information to fix your car. You bought it. You should get all you need to fix it.
Yeah, definitely. Tommy, thank you very much. I definitely just learned a lot right now from this conversation we had.
Good to hear.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate this. Any last words before we get out of here?
Vote yes on one.
And then there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Tommy Hickey. I want to thank you for coming on the Lynn Lowdown. Have a great day. All right. Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Lynn Lowdown Election Special. And today we are going to be talking about Ballot Question 1, and we have a special guest with us. We have Mr. Connor Units with us. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, McCall. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us. Just before we get started, just please introduce yourself to our audience and and why your position on the question we're about to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Connor Units, and I'm the lead spokesperson for the No on One campaign and the Coalition for Safe and Secure Data. And we've been fighting this question back, it's been just over a year now since the proponents originally filed to put this question on the ballot. And I'm sure we'll get into a lengthy discussion about all the different problems with it, but primarily, I think it's important for people to understand that this is not right to repair. I know their ads say this is right to repair, their signs say this is right to repair, but right to repair is the law in Massachusetts already. It was passed by the legislature in 2013. It was signed by Governor Patrick. It is the law. It guarantees that consumers in Massachusetts, car owners in Massachusetts can take their cars or their trucks to any repair shop that they want and get their car fixed wherever they want. It ensures that local mechanics have access to everything they need to diagnose and repair a vehicle. Everything else is campaign talk and data, but I just want to make that clear. This is not about right to repair, and a no on question 1 actually maintains the right to repair law as it is and keeps it the same.
Yeah, so we've seen plenty of people having, making their cases for yes, making their cases for no. So it's really been something that's been going on for a while, as you stated. So on the aspect of the yes side, there are auto repair associations, and the no side, there are auto manufacturer associations. So what do you have to say about the groups backing your side of the argument? You kind of touched on it a little bit more, but can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, so we very clearly are funded by auto manufacturers. So 14 or 16 biggest car manufacturers in the country. That's no surprise. I mean, they're the only ones, in our opinion, speaking up for their customers to ensure that people have accurate information. But what's important to know is the yes side of this campaign is not funded by local repair shops. It's funded 99.9% by national retail chains and their associations. So the majority of their money comes from AutoZone, O'Reilly Automotive, Advanced Auto Parts, and then two groups, the Auto Care Association, which I'm going to talk about a lot, and the Coalition for Auto Repair Equality, which is a group set up, funded, and led by AutoZone executives. So between those 5 organizations, they have given $9 million plus to the Yes on One campaign, which is the vast majority of their money. And as we go through, I'll talk about why they might want access to that information.
Yeah, and just to that's kind of good. That's a good segue right there with the information. There's concerns. People have shared concerns about their information maybe taken, or their information will be kept. Can you just educate us who aren't aware of what really is happening? What is the security and the personal information aspect of that? The concerns that people have about hacking.
Absolutely. So I think it really boils down to, first, I think it's important just to explain exactly what information we're talking about. So right now, under the current law, if there's something wrong with your car, you go to a repair shop, local mechanic, a dealer repair shop, do it yourself, go to AutoZone, get parts, whatever. That's all covered under the law. And what you do is there's something in your car called an OBD port, and you plug the cable into your car. And with that computer, the technician can get all the information they need to figure out what's wrong and to fix it. They're going to charge you different prices for it. That's no question. And I know that a lot of people much prefer to go to their local mechanic. That's great. That's why the current law exists. What is happening now is that modern cars obviously have pretty sophisticated computers in them. And some information is transmitted off of those cars wirelessly. That information is broadly referred to as telematics information. And that is what is being addressed by question 1. So again, has nothing to do with changing how car shops or how your car is repaired in the shop. It's all about the information that's being transmitted wirelessly off your car. So what kind of information is that? It's things like GPS location data, right? You got your GPS in your car, that information is transmitted, it bounces back to you, show you where you are. It's things like information on how your brakes are performing in bad weather, how your airbags are deploying. That information is anonymized among all the vehicles. It is transmitted back to the auto manufacturers so they can build safer, better cars and identify flaws and fix things. So, if you get like a recall that, something it needs to be repaired in your brakes or your airbag or something, and you got to bring it in to get that fixed under warranty. It doesn't cost you anything, those recalls. That is a lot of times because information from these vehicles is showing there's a problem. Mm-hmm. What the current law says is that if there's any information that is telematics, so it's transmitted wirelessly off your car, and it's necessary to diagnose and repair a vehicle, and it's given to dealer repair shops, then your local repair shop has to get that same information. But it excludes certain things. So, for example, it explicitly excludes navigation data. So it excludes your real-time location. Mm-hmm. Question 1 would change that. Question 1 would give access to all information in your car's computer. Now, they say it's just mechanical information, but the way that they define mechanical information is anything necessary to diagnose and repair, anything related to, that's the key phrase, related to diagnosing and repairing a vehicle, which is an incredibly broad term, and it was written expressly so. So I mentioned that navigation data is explicitly carved out of the existing law. It is not carved out of this ballot question. So they're going to say, we don't want your location data, we just want mechanical data. But they wrote question 1, and they had the opportunity to, just like it is now, say, navigation data is not covered by this law. Real-time location is not covered by this law. They didn't do that, and it's for a reason. I mentioned the Auto Care Association, which is one of their primary funders. They were going around the country last year showing what an app would look like for your phone if question 1 passes. And in their version of the app, it has your real-time location data, it has a map, it has the option of adding behavioral data. So they can claim all they want that this is just about mechanical data, but their actions and their words say otherwise.
Mhm. Just to piggy on that, are these? Are vehicles now are they more susceptible to hacking by strangers with the current laws that exist right now, or is that a myth?
So automakers have spent hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to make their systems more secure because there is a risk. The FBI has explicitly warned that foreign countries or foreign actors have been trying to hack vehicle systems. That's why automakers invest so heavily in this. That's why they are continually updating and making their systems more secure. What this question would do is throw all that investment, all that work out the window. Because what it does is it requires a quote unquote open data platform that is accessible by a mobile app and that can access every vehicle in Massachusetts that has telematics. Importantly, it also says that this all must be done by model year 2022. Those cars are already well into their production cycle, will start coming out in 2021. So it basically says that within a year, we need to have somehow created this huge open secure platform that works with every single car in Massachusetts and an app that goes with it. And we also have to make sure, I should say, it doesn't say anything about making sure that those things are secure and that they are protected from hacks. And the risk is so great that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is the federal agency charged with keeping America's highways safe, has said this is a bad idea. This will raise risks for American families. It will increase the cybersecurity risks of a massive hack, and the malicious actors can absolutely take advantage of this system.
With the yes or no vote, will there be stricter guidelines to put in place to protect the information?
The dangerous thing about ballot questions is that you vote on the language that's appearing on the ballot, right? This law, if question 1 passes, this becomes law on January 1st. Citizen voters, unlike in the legislature, citizen voters can't propose amendments before they vote. They have to vote it up or down. And ideally, something this complicated, this complex, this technical would be handled by the legislature. Now, the folks behind question 1 filed legislation to do this, but before that legislation even had a hearing, they filed for the ballot question because they don't want voters to actually understand what's going on here. They don't want the legislature to deal with this. They just want to tell everyone that this is just right to repair. This is just an update. Just pass this and we'll move on. That is their entire strategy. And that's why their signs and their ads say, vote yes on right to repair. They are trying to fool voters into thinking this is somehow just right to repair when it's really about the information being wirelessly transmitted off of your car.
Yeah, and the right to repair, it was put in place in 2013. You stated that earlier. Yep. Now, is this ballot measure any different from that right to repair law?
Oh, very different. And just very briefly on the history of that, the law was actually passed originally. This was a fight at the State House for years and years, and heavily lobbied on both sides. And at the end of 2012, or in August of 2012, automakers and the Right to Repair group, working with legislators, actually reached a compromise. And they passed a law, and Governor Patrick signed the law. But because it was already August, the ballot question that the Right to Repair had proposed and had already been locked onto the ballot in July. So it was going to the ballot no matter what, but both sides agreed they wouldn't do anything to support or oppose it. The Right to Repair Committee actually reneged on that agreement. They spent $3 million in support of question 1. There was no opposition to it. So unsurprisingly, it passed. What happened, though, was that what they passed, the ballot question, was significantly different from the law that was already on the books that Governor Patrick had signed. So the legislature had to go back and, it was called reconcile those two bills, the ballot question with the existing law. And that law was finally signed by Governor Patrick in 2013. And that's the law that's on the books today. Okay. And that's the law that ensures that telematics is covered under this and that location data is excluded. Notably, the ballot question in 2012 that the yes folks refer to all the time, that is actually the only part of this that excluded telematics. So they're going to come on, they're going to say, well, telematics was excluded. We didn't know anything about it. We left it out. That is true only of their ballot question. It was already the law in Massachusetts before the ballot question was passed. It's the law in Massachusetts now.
Yeah, and Massachusetts is the only state that has adopted any type of law regarding right to repair. I believe other states they've have proposals, but Massachusetts, as of now, is the only state that actually adopted this. And so what are your thoughts on? I don't know if you know about the other states with their right to repair laws, or
Yeah. So
what are your thoughts on the other states that may adopt this as well?
sure. So there's a couple things here. After the Massachusetts law was finalized in 2013, automakers and the auto repair groups nationwide actually signed a memorandum of understanding that applies the Massachusetts law across the country. So the other states don't have this law on the books, but they are bound by this MOU to honor this agreement. So it is not law in the other states, but it is recognized in all the other states. This proposal, question 1, is brand new. They tried it once before in California, and it was defeated after heavy opposition from domestic violence and sexual assault prevention groups, heavy opposition from the NAACP, who had concerns about insurance companies and redlining. So there was a ton of opposition in California, and that got defeated. They're now bringing it back here because they're using the cover of this previous ballot question to try and make people think, you loved this before, you'll love it again. Again, it's not the same thing. But also, this is an important point I want to note too.
Yeah.
When we're talking about right to repair, there is another right to repair movement out there that is not about cars, but about iPhones and computers and things like that. That is not covered under this ballot question. I want to make sure people are clear about that.
Okay.
Because that is a separate issue. In fact, what the digital right to repair folks are trying to get is what we already have for automakers in Massachusetts, which is the right to repair at a very basic level. And so, but I know there's been some confusion on that. That is not on the ballot here. This is just about vehicle wireless systems.
Yeah, and then with cell phones too, we know how tricky that can get with the information with the cell phone and just the technology, how wild it is. So, just as we're about to close here, just, give some close. Can you give us some closing thoughts on the right to repair and just advice to anybody that's going out to vote?
Absolutely. So I think the important thing to note, as I said before, right to repair is law in Massachusetts. Right to repair will not change in Massachusetts. Question 1 is about vehicle data. It's about national retail chains wanting access to your data. If question 1 passes, you will not notice any change in your repair experience because right now already local repair shops have the information they need to diagnose and repair your car. What will happen instead is that your information will be made available to more third parties, more advertisers, more insurance companies, and it will create enormous risk of your personal privacy and your personal safety because it will expose your data to malicious actors. If you vote no on question 1, the right to repair law remains the same, your data remains safe, and you will get your vehicle fixed wherever you want.
All right, Connor. Hey, man, thank you for coming on here.
It's great. Really appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, and if anybody, if anyone has any questions or want to know more about question 1 that they're not too certain about, how can they reach you and contact you?
They can find us at safeandsecuredata.org.
All right, safeandsecuredata.org. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Connor Units. You guys have been watching a special edition of the Lynn Lowdown Election Special. Ballot question 1. Make sure you go out and vote, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Mikhail Kabongo. Have a great day.